Okay, so in this video we will show how to set up remote monitoring from a remote computer or through the mobile app for the Sitrad Pro software. So in order to do that, we need to access our modem. Now every modem has got a gateway address, which you can find by accessing the command prompt. So let's go to our command prompt, press CMD. And here you can look at your IP configuration settings. So in order to do that, type IP config, enter, and as you can see here, there is a default gateway address. This is the address of your modem, which is being used to provide the internet connection. So what you do is type that exact same address on your internet browser. So let's do that. We have 192.168.2.1. Press enter. And what it's doing now is opening my my router configuration. So once you are in there, every user will have a different type of router. The one that I have is called Bell Home Hub 3000, and this is the main home page for the router settings. So what I need to do is go to Advanced Tools and Settings, and there I need to change the configuration parameters. So it's asking me to log into the modem. It will ask you to log in regardless of whichever modem you're using. So there would be a default password that you would have on your router. If you know the default password, then enter the default password. If you have changed the password, then enter the new password that you have for your router. In my case, I know what my password is, so I'm just going to enter that. And there you go. So it's allowed me to access the advanced tools and settings. Now in here, I need to open port forwarding. And here you will see a list of rules that have been created for the port forwarding feature. Presently, there are no rules created. So what we need to do is create a new rule. So I'm going to click on this plus sign, and I'm going to name this rule, for example, let's say Sitrad Pro. The protocol has to be both. There is an option for TCP or UDP, but select both in your case. Enter the internal port that needs to be used. So the internal port is basically the port number that we need to open in the router. For Sitrad Pro, the port number is 8001. So let's enter 8001. Same is for the external port as well. We only need to open one port, so that's why I'm going to enter 8001 to 8001. For the local IP address, I need to select the IP address of my computer. So let's try to find what the IP address is of the computer where Sitrad Pro is installed. So in order to do that, I go back to my command prompt, and if you see here, there is an IPv4 address. The IPv4 address is the internal IP address of the machine where Sitrad Pro is running, so which is my computer in this case. So my computer's IP address is 192.168.2.43. This is the IP address that gets randomly assigned by the router that is located in your home or in your office. And every time the computer starts, typically mostly it is the same address, or it could be a new address that the router assigns. So in my case, I'm going to enter this address for now, which is 192.168.2.43. Let me enter that. So that's how it has found my that's how I have entered the IP address. So this setup is complete. Let's say create, And now what it's done is created a rule for Sitrad Pro, and what it's done is open ports 8001 in my router, and those ports are pointing to my computer. And how it knows that it has to point to my computer? For that, you enter the IP address of your computer, which is this in my case. So I'm going to say save. And there you go. The port forwarding rule is complete, and the ports are now open, and those open ports are pointing to my computer. And you can also see here that it says Chris Saxena PC, which is basically my computer that is connected to the router that is providing internet. So I'm going to close this, and there you go. So this setup is complete. Now, in order to access the Sitrad Pro software from a mobile phone, what you need to do is on the mobile phone app, the app is called Sitrad Mobile. In order to know how to download the app, you can visit Full Gauge's website. There are also YouTube links, YouTube videos that show from where you can download the Sitrad Mobile app. But the app is called Sitrad Mobile. You can access it on Google Play or on the Apple Store. But once you have downloaded the app, it will ask you to set up a server. And in order to set up that server, you need to enter an IP address. The IP address that you need to enter is the external IP address of the location where Sitrad Pro is running. And the Sitrad Pro has to be the local server, which is this server in our case. It's the local server. So now, how do you find the external IP address? In order to do that, you go to your internet browser, open a new window, and search for my external IP. So over here, it has displayed, Google has displayed your public IP address. You can copy it from here, or you can even go to this website, which is myexternalip.com. Click on it, and there you go. It has verified your external IP address. This is the IP address that you need to enter for in the Sitrad Mobile app to set up the server. So what this IP address means? This is the external IP address, and what this means is that for an external person who is not located where the Sitrad Pro software is running, so someone who is external to the office or external to your home, someone who's from the outside who needs to access your location, what is the IP address that they see? This is that IP address. So for the Sitrad server that you set up in the Sitrad Mobile, this is the IP address that you need to use. And besides that, it will ask you for a username, a password. Once you have entered all that, your server is set up in Sitrad Mobile and you're good to go. So this is how you set up the remote monitoring in Sitrad Mobile. And once you do that and you open the server on your mobile phone, you should be able to access these two instruments.